Hey you guys, so I'm back with another look for New Year's Eve. So I'm going to start off with my base, and I'm using the NYX Eyeshadow Base, and this is Skin Tone. So next I am using NYX Jumbo Pencil, and this is in Milk for a base for my color. So the first eyeshadow I'm starting with is by MAC, and this is one of their Dazzle shadows, and this is in Let's Roll, and this is one of their jewel chrome shadows, and I am packing it on. So the next shade I'm using is an INGLOT, and I think this is 15, and it is a shimmer. I didn't want to do a matte shade as my transition color. I wanted to do something a little different, so this is why I use this shade. So the next shades I'm using are all MAC, and I'm starting off with Texture, and I am adding that on top of the INGLOT shade. And I'm just blending it really good. So this next shade is Espresso by MAC also, and I'm applying that right below the texture. So this next shade is also a MAC one, and this is Beautymarked, and you can barely see the shimmers once you put it on your eyes, but I love this shade as a dark one to add more definition to your outside crease. Now I'm blending the Beautymarked to get out those harsh edges. And if anybody know, the key to an eyeshadow look is basically the blending. The more you blend, or the more you learn how to blend and you get the right brushes, putting on eyeshadow is a piece of cake. So now what I'm doing with a different brush, a more precise brush, is I'm adding more of that Beautymarked to my outer V, just to define it a little bit more. So the next shade I'm using is Sketch, and it's a dark purple, and I'm just using that on my outer corner just to add a little bit more color, and then I'm also going to bring it in slightly to the lid color too. And now I'm just blending the edges, make sure everything's a smooth transition. So the next shades I'm going to use is Ricepaper and Bamboo. First I'm using Bamboo, and then Ricepaper I'm putting under my brow bone. And I'm only putting Ricepaper just to highlight the brow bone. I didn't put that all over my eye. And now you just blend those shades together for a more seamless look. So now what I'm doing is adding that lid shade on, but I wet my brush with Fix Plus so it could be a little bit brighter. And now I'm just blending everything together. So I've already applied lashes, liner, and foundation. Now I am highlighting, and I am using NC45 from the Matte Contour Concealer Palette. So I am using this Bullet by NYX to blend that highlight.
Don't know how long we've been out here, and these nights are getting shorter. Like a bad energy I'll conquer in my soul. This is real. These nights are getting shorter in my soul. This is real.
And I'm just adding a little bit more for a little bit more coverage. This next shade I'm using to contour is NW55, or it's NC55 from that palette. So the next shade I'm using is NC50. And I use that as an in-between shade when I am highlighting and contouring. And to me, the more you blend when you highlight your contouring, the better it looks more natural than having that straight cut. Sometimes you like that straight cut contouring, but most of the time I like the more natural look. Every now and then I'll do a straight cut on my contouring, but not today. And I'm going to use a blending sponge to blend out some more. And this is from the Real Techniques. So what happened was that the concealer sort of dried and wasn't spreading pretty good, so I just sprayed it with Fix Plus so I can blend it much better. As you can see, some more flawless finish. So to set my highlight areas, I am using this setting mix, and it's the Benny banana powder and the Morphe setting powder, which the Morphe setting powder leaves a cast, so I just blended it all together, and I darken it a little with the Topaz setting powder, also by Benny. And I don't know why today I just packed it on, but it did. And now I am blending it and pressing it into my skin. And I have a less of a yellow outcast. And if there's any left on my skin, any loose powder, I just wipe it off later. So to set the contouring areas, I am using pressed powder by Black Radiance, and this is Ebony. And I don't always put it on my neck. Sometimes I do, but for the sake of this video, I am putting it on my neck to make it appear slimmer and more chiseled. And just blend it. And I'm using an e.l.f. stippling brush to blend that. As you'll notice in my videos, I probably never use the same brush. I use whatever comes to mind at the time. And this is what my hands picked up. So now I'm using blush from my favorite blush palette, and this is the e.l.f. Dark. And I'm also using the same stippling brush for that. And I'm using it very light. For a highlight, I am using a new one, and this is by Sephora. And I don't remember the name for the illuminator, but I'll list it in the description box. So now to finish the eyes, I am using black eyeliner. And now I'm adding a little color, so I'm using purple, and I will list the shade to this one also in the description box. And it's Urban Decay's 24/7. I'm not sure if this is Lust or not, but I'll list it. And this is another Urban Decay shadow, and I don't remember what the shade is, but I'll also list it in the description box. So now for my tear ducts, I am adding that same shade, and I am putting it on top of the eyeliner pencil that I used, and it turned it more of a brighter shade. You really can't tell. Camera doesn't give this shadow any justice. So now I'm adding mascara, and this is by Bobbi Brown. So now I'm lining my lips with Night Moth by MAC, and then I'm going to follow it with a liquid lipstick by Kat Von D in Voodoo, which is a dark purple. So now I'm doing some last minute grooming on the eyebrows, and that will finish the look. So I hope everyone likes the video and have a safe New Year's Eve. Until then, I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.